Well, hello there, Jeff. Here we are again, back for more. Has anybody heard of using AI in sales? I hear it's blowing up. I hear you've got some interesting use cases that you're leveraging around AI. So wanted to spend some time today talking about what's new in the world of AI and sales. So, Jeff, tell us what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I know it's something of a burnt out topic, but I think, something, but I think it's important. Like whenever I'm learning about AI, I kind of want to just get to like the brass tacks. Like, tell me what you're actually doing with it. Tell me how I do it. And I recently just took a course on this about, AI and go-to-market strategies, and it really got the juices flowing. And I've been starting to do some pretty interesting things with it. So first and foremost, some of the more advanced models, you can integrate them with your CRM. And so as a sales leader, I'm looking to pull reports various different times, but I'm also looking for insights. I think we've moved from the this phase where like you can literally just have a report, but now you can actually just have it tell you like how should I feel about this? And one of the things that I was looking at trying to do recently, we have a little bit of trouble understanding how we move between each stage in our pipeline. It's just not as easy as you would think to create that report within our CRM. But I was recently able to do some like really good digging into what's going on, where are there bottlenecks in our pipeline, and how I could address them, but also have like a really good conversation with the team. And this is something that would have taken me like hours to try to put together with someone else on the team before. So that was really, really cool. Something else that we've started looking at is where's their intent signals all over the world of people that we could be targeting. Because when you're a startup, you're a young company like the ones that I typically join because I'm a masochist. You need to be smart about where you spend your time. Where's the low hanging fruit? We have very limited resources, and so I sell what's called an ICRA as a strategy, and I work with healthcare brokers. But our healthcare brokers mentioning ICRA as a strategy on their website? It's very simple, but if they're doing it, if it's on their website, it stands to reason that they're aware of it. They view it as a viable strategy. Are there healthcare brokers who are talking about ICRA as a strategy in podcasts? Or in blogs, right? So I can now start to be very hyper focused, and I can say, you know what, I want to go to this county in the United States where I know ICRA is really strong, and I want to find brokers who meet these criteria. And then I can get an automated feed every week in my inbox, and I can even now start automating my outreach to them that says, hey, you're doing this as a strategy. You're in one of the best places in the United States for this. But now it's a very targeted message. It's very relevant to someone who I know has high intent, and it's very personal, right?
Yeah.
It's automated, but it's also personal, and that's really cool, right? And then I think the last thing that I'm looking at, like some of the stuff I haven't built yet, but it's some I'm just starting to get my hands around it, is playbooks. So I have all the source material from every stand up I've ever run and trainings I've done even before joining this company. That speak to how I want to coach my team. And now I can start to aggregate all of this content into really nice playbooks. We can start, I want to start looking into automating call coaching. We're using what's called spiced as a qualification criteria. It's kind of like medic, but more of like a low, lighter weight version of medic. And I want to now start to be able to take a transcript from Gong and run that transcript through AI and tell the reps, where are you delinquent and spiced, and where's the risk based on the conversation you just had. And I haven't got there yet. I'll be honest. I'll raise my hand and say that is aspirational, but I would like to start putting that in the CRM after every call and saying, hey, this is where we're at. This is where the risk is. I know there's some tools out there, some point solutions that can do this for me already, but I want to try to build it on my own. It's an ambitious thing, but I want to start building a lot of these workflows and these automations internally. So that's what I'm looking at for AI. I mean, we've got a board meeting coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm absolutely going to run deep research and present that to the board. And There's no reason not to, right? So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been tinkering a lot. It's been a lot of fun. Would love to hear about what you guys have been cooking up over there.
I love it. Well, and as everybody I think knows, I'm a Microsoft employee, so I got to officially say I'm not endorsing any products here, but I'm doing a lot of similar things, leveraging Copilot, Teams, some of the transcript work and taking some of the Excel reports and readouts. I was having some interesting conversations this last week with a lot of colleagues in Seattle, around like how we're leveraging AI. And my advice that I was giving is, because there's a lot of people that are still looking at, how do I get started? How should I be thinking about it? Literally try to point it at every part of your process, part of your day. I love how you called out, Jeff, some of the reports that you're leveraging it with, because I can take, my robust Power BI dashboards and I can export these into Excel, load them into Copilot, and I can ask for inferences. I can say, hey, I'm a sales manager. Arm me with what I should talk about in my team meeting today based on this spreadsheet. And to be able to, and you can prompt it as well, like, hey, let me know who I should be giving recognition to. Let me know of any insights that I can draw from this grid so that I can better coach my team. And, again, you and I both know that we could come up with, if we studied it for 30 minutes to an hour, we could come up with a lot of these things and we could build a robust PowerPoint. With AI, I can do all of that in 5 minutes. And that's the key element. And so I'm thinking about like my day on a Monday. That's how I'm spending my time with AI. Then I think about like, how do I point it to my prospecting? We're entering a new fiscal year. We just did our kickoff last week. So I'm in full prospecting mode. And as you know, I'm a big probability and odds guy. It's very similar to what you were just outlining as well, Jeff. I look at, when I'm writing a prospecting mail, you can control the quality of message, quantity of outreach, and the consistency by which you execute over time. Quality of message, I'm literally having, the Copilot or the AI engine say, give me a subject line that'll have the maximum open rate. Write me a 2 to 3 sentence email that will have the maximum response rate because there's a lot of noise out there. I know that short, succinct, sweet, to the point, that has the highest probability of response, but there's got to be calls to action. And the other thing too is what's amazing. You're talking about plugging into the CRM. I can go in and I can export all 400 plus of my customers into an Excel. I can feed that into the AI engine and basically ask for, sort this out by very specific niche, industry verticals or sub verticals. And then I can start to form perspective around very specific target audiences. Very similar to what you were just outlining as far as, specific addressable market and customers, potential customers that may be talking about XYZ. I can formulate a perspective and an opinion with AI and write a very personalized message to people, whether it's combing their LinkedIn profile and it's one-to-one, or it's even just one to that specific subvertical. And all of it gives me a higher probability of response. Lastly, very similar, being able to put my entire or export my entire pipeline view from a BI dashboard, putting that into the AI engine and start to, surface, insights from this. What are some things that I should be looking at as a sales manager and showing me deals that have been stuck in certain steps of the stages for more than 90 days. What do we need to do here? We need to move this up or out, right? Being able to look into the future. We're starting to look at our Q1 pipeline really hard, and we've got a review this week. So to be able to look at, full year, what could even be some deals that if my team and I were to put some emphasis behind them, deals that maybe are due to close later on this calendar year or even early next, the impact that it would be to bring those forward and really emphasize. Normally, it might be off somebody's radar. But with AI, everything can be on the radar. You can look more comprehensively at the pipeline and really figure out as a seller, as a sales manager, where should you be putting your focus? And lastly, what I love it for most is, helping with almost those daily communications, surfacing some of the things, whether it's plugged into my Outlook or whether it's plugged into my calendar, my other Teams messages. I know people can use it with Slack, whatever you're leveraging to be able to plug into all of those messages and be able to surface like, hey, based on all the things that I'm getting from leadership, based on all the things that I've already communicated randomly throughout the week, give me a digest of what I need to recap here on a Monday morning to my team and, give them some, pump me up, give them, pull something that I can recognize from this last week. There's a lot of things as a sales manager that can help surface and turn into a digest for your team. Whereas I might have spent half an hour scouring my messages for, 5 bullet points. AI can do it in 5 minutes and it can have 5 times that. So finding a ton of value and really just my challenge to you would be, if you're listening, if you're watching, think about your processes. How can you point AI at every step of your process to make it better, to make it more comprehensive, and think outside the box? Because those are the types of things that I think are really going to help keep people ahead of the curve. Because in 6 months, everybody will probably be doing what Jeff and I are talking about. If you're doing it now, you're going to be better than the rest.
Love it. Those are all some great ideas. And I think like the research piece is really the one where it's like, if you're not doing that, I mean, like at least start there because that's just right at your fingertips. And, my mom even was, I forget what she was bugging me and my brother about like a week ago about something. I was like, why don't you just ask ChatGPT? She had some question. She was looking for something, right? So I love that as a bare minimum starting point and all great ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I found a great restaurant that I could take my wife to. It writes bedtime stories for my kids. And I literally, while I'm on the phone with a customer, I can in real time start imputing what the customer is telling me, and it can give me talking points. And whereas, yeah, I'm good, might have thought of 3 or 4 of those things by myself, it'll give me 20. And it might be number 7 where you really get the head nod from the executive and you've struck pay dirt. So again, we're always on that quest to earn the right to be the trusted advisor. AI just gives you a better chance.
Yeah, love it. Good stuff as always.
Boom. All right. Well, everybody out there, go forth and make it a great week. We'll see you next time, Jeff.
Yep.